I'm Michael Torn, stand-up comedian. I'm so happy to be here with y'all this week, man. We got a lot to process, a lot to get out, get done with. I was on tour this weekend, and I had my Zoom Rent comedy show. I've started a monthly Zoom Rent show where people watch online. They could purchase a ticket, have some of my funny friends. It's a rent party. Like they used to do that back in the day, especially in like the Harlem and stuff like that. So I'm doing that now, because I got to pay this rent, y'all. Got to pay this rent, pay these bills. So people pay, and then they get a Zoom link, and they get to watch us every last Friday of the month. So I did that, and we had that this week, and it went dope, man. People enjoyed it, they loved it. They told me it was a great idea. They can't wait till it's next month. So we definitely will be doing it again next month. It's gonna be the last Friday of the month. Make sure you come check that out. So I had that Friday. Saturday, I had a show in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Yeah, Murder Beach, South Carolina was dope. Did a Don't Tell show. 2 shows, man. Crowd was dope. It was fire. We it was great, man. I love South Carolina is one of my favorite states to go to. I like North Carolina a little bit better, but South Carolina is still dope. I like North Carolina better because it's closer to where I'm at. It's a lot quicker, but crowds in North Carolina, man, some of the best crowds in the country. So I thank y'all so much, North Carolina. Next week I actually will be not this weekend, but next weekend I'll be in West Virginia, y'all. So check that out. And I think I'm coming back to South Carolina too. So we'll figure all that out. Anyways, man, this week, man, I've been still on the journal. I've been journaling, y'all, and this journaling has really taking things to the next level. I would say like journaling has made me just realize how much I just been like not I just been holding in, right? Because it's like I feel like I was raised to not express, not to process. And this journaling is just like making me like now, like as I'm getting stuff out, I'm like, oh, I see things more clearly. I'm not holding on to resentment, grudge. It's like I can finally get through the emotions and feelings because before journaling, I would keep everything up here up top. And now it's like I get that out and it's like I can see everything that I need to. Um, Journaling is also it's giving me the what I wanted, like, cause I've been sober. I've been sober now for 6 years. I had 6 years of sobriety last month, and journaling is giving me what I thought the things the substances what I thought would do for me. Journaling is doing that for me. So it's like my mind is just more clear, and I'm getting everything out, and I love it, yo. I love it. Um, One thing, I journaled this week that came up a lot. Um, I was doing a lot of comparison. You were one of the best comedy shows I've ever been to, bro. Hey, Lucky, I appreciate you, man. Lucky here, he commented in the chat. Thank you so much. Where you from, Lucky? Write that in the chat. Let me know. Um, so I'm on TikTok Live for anybody that's gonna watch this afterwards, and I'm reading the chat as I'm going through. Um, so fear and comparison. So one thing, man, I've been trying to get off of social media because it is so easy to compare yourself to everybody else. Like, you ever be on social media and you see some people and you just start comparing yourself, and then you just start feeling bad. You're like, man, I'm not doing as good as them, or they on a whole nother level. Like, you comparing your real life to their highlight reel. Like, I swear it's so hard to, like, I do that on comparison, and it's like I go down this rabbit hole every time that, like, I get on social media. It'll be like I see somebody, then I start comparing, then I start thinking, like, I be on ChatGPT, like, yo, what does this mean, or what is this gonna lead to? Are they gonna be big? Like, it's just like I go down this rabbit hole, and now I spent my whole day comparing myself to somebody. It's exhausting. And so I journaled this week. I was like trying to journal, like try to figure out, like, why do I keep doing this and how do I break it? And as I journal, I realized that underneath the comparison is fear. It's the fear of not being good enough, fear of not making it. It's just straight up fear. And fear makes you compare yourself to other people. So then that's why you compare, because you're like, all right, am I doing what they doing? And that's how you do it. So now that I realize that the fear is the root of the comparison, I feel like now I can attack things better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, let me attack the fear instead of letting the fear control me. Because when the fear control me, that's when I'm on social media comparing, or that's when I'm distracting myself with social media, or that's when I'm eating to avoid these feelings. So, now that I know that it's fear, I can face it. Also, it doesn't feel as heavy now that I'm aware that fear was the underneath thing that was causing so much comparison. So I'm happy to figure that out with journaling, man. Um, and I notice now that, like, I'm on social media, I'll see somebody, and I'd be like, yo, I'm about to, like, I could just feel like I'm about to compare myself, and then I'd be like, nope, that's fear. I don't need to do that. That's my fear talking. So now that I'm aware of it, I can stop, like, those negative things, and instead focus on myself, affirm myself, make myself feel better, and just focus on my goals. Because I don't need to look at my peers. And I could be more excited for my peers now, because it's just like we're not competing. You know what I'm saying? Now that I also realize this fear, it's like I can also see my peers more clearly. So I'm not, journaling has definitely made me more aware of that comparison, which I'm really really happy about. Another thing that's happened this week. Have you ever talked to somebody and it made you realize some things about yourself? I'll give you an example. I was talking to a friend, from, like, we went to high school together. We're adults now, right? And I realized that they're in survival mode, right? And it made me realize how I've been in survival mode, or things that I've done in survival mode. Um, Survival mode will keep you in unhealthy friendships, is what I'm learning. Really. Because when you're in survival mode, you were just trying to survive. And I've noticed as I've gotten outside of survival mode, it's no longer trying to survive. It's like now I can see people more clearly. You get what I'm saying? I'll give you an example. When you in survival mode, from my experience, it's like you just trying to make it day by day. Um, if somebody, like for me, if I hit somebody up and they don't respond or do a certain thing, I would take it personally. I could not see the bigger picture. I would just be like, man, what's going on? And I will hold on to that frustration from what that person is doing. Because I'm in survival mode, like I just, everything is just like, man, they are doing me wrong. So now it's like you start to realize, I get out of survival mode. I realized a lot of the people that I was around, were just inconsistent. It wasn't really like, and that was my fault, because I could definitely gotten away. Like, you can have empathy for people, you can understand people go through stuff, but some people are just inconsistent, and you have to understand that. And I'm at a point now where I'm realizing that it's just like, oh, I'm wasting too much time on certain friendships, family members, co-workers, just people in general who haven't been consistent in my life. But when I was in survival mode, they stayed around because it felt like they was the only people that could be around. But now that I'm getting out of survival mode, it's like, oh, I don't need to be around these type of people. And honestly, they might not even recognize if I'm gone, because these people ain't showing up for be consistent in my life. Because being out of survival mode, you start to realize, like, I'm starting to realize, like, my needs, my wants, and I need people that's gonna like always like show up for you. Or if they don't, communicate that. I had a lot of people. You reach out to them, you don't hear from them for 2 weeks, and then they just show up when they need something. Like, yo, what? And then I'm mad, and the recycle would just keep repeating, and I never could understand why that was. I would just always get mad and stay in a cycle of frustration, and just angry, being petty and stuff like that. But but journaling and everything and seeing everything for what it is, now it's like, oh, like when I take a step back, I have control over this. I don't have to be in this dynamic, They say that a lot of times you attract the dynamic that you grew up with. Like if you were in unhealthy, dynamics as a child, you start to that becomes your familiar, what you know. So as you become a grown adult, you attract those same type of dynamics, and not consciously. It's just unconsciously, because if you had somebody that validated you as a child, now as an adult, you are picking people that invalidate you, that aren't being consistent and stuff like that. So I just tell people, man, get out of survival mode if you can. It's hard too to get out of survival mode, because you can easily be there. Like, you could lose your job, put you in survival mode. Because you got to slow down. That's one thing I'm realizing now. It's like you got to slow down, even when the emotions feel very, very, very heavy. A lot of times when you going through stuff, you just want to avoid it, and that ain't the way. I'm learning. Now it's just nah, we gotta keep doing it, keep going. So the next thing I wanted to hit on was something that I read. Well, actually, I was in this group that somebody told me that I think is really good, but they kind of caught me off guard. They pretty much said that anger. They say anger, right? Anger is when you're frustrated at a goal that has not been met. Anger is frustration when you did not meet a goal that you had. And I tell you a story this week, right? So I do open mics during the week to work on my material. Like on the weekends, usually I have paid shows. During the week, I do open mics so I can just practice and get better at my set, right? So a lot of times when you do open mics, they go off the list based off when you got this. When you show up, you sign the list, and then they go in the order of the list. So this open mic was supposed to start at 8:00, and so I got there at 7:30 with the expectations of I'm getting there early so I can go up on the list so I can get home, because it's the travel time and everything. It takes me an hour and a half to get to this mic. It's in the city. I live in suburbs and stuff like that, and so I get to 7:30. I asked the people, I was like, yo, how I sign up for this open mic? And they were just like, well, the host ain't here yet when the host get here. The host shows up at mic's supposed to start at 8:00. The host shows up at 8:02. When I first got there, I was one of 3 people that was there. So the host puts out the list, if you want to sign up for this open mic, you can sign it now. So I'm sitting in the back of the room. All these people who came after me and showed up later signed the list, and now I'm number 9 on the list, and I get really, really angry. I'm mad and frustrated. I'm just yo, I came here, I signed up for this. How does this happen? I'm really frustrated. And I thought about what I heard in that meeting, and it said anger is frustration with it's frustration at a goal that has not been met. And what I was angry about was that I had the expectations of getting there early. My expectation of signing up and getting out early was not met. I intentionally got to this venue early. Despite that, my efforts, it did not work out. And so I was angry about that. And after I processed it, I journaled it and everything. Um, I was no longer angry. I moved into acceptance, and I started to accept that this venue isn't, for me. This isn't the type of venue for me. This type of open mic, I need to go to an open mic where maybe there's more of a professional host, that gets there on time, and maybe a different venue. So anger, because when I growing up, anger was looked at like, oh, you mad, that's bad, like you shouldn't be angry, or you the angry black guy and stuff like that. So you always be like kind of super self-conscious about that. But I'm learning now that anger helps me understand my expectations and my needs. Anger helps me understand my needs. So now that I understand my needs, I can change things so I don't get angry again. So I don't think I'm looking at anger as a bad thing anymore. Anger is actually a signal that tells you exactly what you need and what you want. So let's leave those stereotypes away in 2026. So yeah, so that was, I would say, my key takeaways that happened this week that I went through. Now I'm just gonna go through, look at the chats to see what was said through here. Give me 1 second. All right, so that was Lucky showing love about the comedy show, saying it was one of the best comedy shows I've ever been to. I appreciate that, Lucky, and thank you so much, man, for joining me today on the live. And make sure you come again next week as well. Give me 1 second to read. And thank you everybody that's in the chat that joined today. Give me 1 second. Someone wrote blocked. What you talking about, Universe? In the comments, Universe is calling, said blocked. All right, so I think we might got some trolls. Okay, so all right, y'all. So yeah, so that was the main takeaways today. That comparison, the underlying thing of comparison is fear. For survival mode, survival keeps you in unhealthy relationships. And anger is just a beautiful thing. So this week I don't have any tour dates. I'll be local this week. But next week I will be in West Virginia, so make sure y'all check out that. We'll do this again next week. And also make sure you check out, I drop therapy talks on Fridays on social media, and sketches. I've been doing my sketches every Monday. I'm dropping those on social media as well. Other than that, man, this has been fantastic. I thank each and every one of y'all for joining me tonight. We will be back next week for more reflecting and growing with Vaughn. Other than that, man, y'all.